Hi, everybody. This is Bernadette. It's such a long time ago, and I'm so happy I'm back. And today I'm here with Ivana. Hi, Ivana.
Hi, Bernadette. It's nice to be here. Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. Of course, we talk to each other regularly. We are colleagues and we work together. But being on the podcast, that's kind of a little bit of a while ago, right?
It has been a little while,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, let me explain because people will probably think like, hey, what happened to this podcast? Well, first of all, by the time it was April, we were working on one side. We worked very hard for our magazine in April. It's our spring magazine. It was a crazy time. It was a busy time. And we had to do a lot of work. That's one. The other one was that something went wrong with our podcast. And so I had a really great interview with a great guy. And the noise and the technique was so bad that I really had to do something. I thought, okay, I cannot go back with this. And before we find out why this was such a big deal and why this was happening, it was like it was not clear what we were saying. There was a lot of noise. And
Yeah.
so we find out that there was like a bug in our air
Oh my,
conditioning system. And that never
oh my
happened
gosh.
before. But by now it's almost summer in Spain. Believe me, you need your air conditioning. And so we never
Definitely.
thought that was a bug which could give us a lot of problems. And so that was one. And the other one was that we had like twice somebody who was supposed to have an interview had to cancel on very different reasons. And before we know it, it's May, and we did have some podcasts for a while. But you know what? That's life. This is how we work. We have a very busy life, a busy work with a lot of magazines, with a lot of people we work with, and this happens.
Yeah,
So
definitely. So
yeah.
you've had a what's upcoming now? Like, what do you have going on?
Oh, so much
Exciting.
nice things. I'm so happy that the magazine is done for spring. It's always like giving birth, you have a lot of work, but a lot of work, and then finally, plop, it's there, it's born, and there your magazine is there, and then you just, it's done. That's the best part of making the magazine after when it's done. But and now I have all the time. So the first one I'm going to, it's an event I love, love, love. We're going with the whole team. It's called France Air Expo. It's the 1st up till the 3rd of June. It's close to Lyon. And we're going with with content managers, social media, executive photographer. And of course, I'm going too just because how nice it is to drive
Yeah, that's
to
gonna
the
be
south of
beautiful.
France. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that's going to be beautiful. I haven't been there, but I've actually Googled it before because I've wanted to travel there.
Oh, you will be. You will be. When you are flying in Barcelona, I make sure we drive up there. It's not even that far. It's like 2 hours drive. It's
Yeah.
beautiful there. I drive a lot to Cannes. The only negative thing about it, I mean, it's beautiful, but you get speed tickets like when you're going 1 mile too fast. You have a speed ticket. It's ridiculous. When I come back from France, I always have like 5 tickets. That's too much, really. But anyway, it's all worth it because it's lovely. And France Air Expo is my favorite. I love to go, making the pictures. And I already have some interviews there. They wanted to do live podcasts, but I think when you like one day on a trade show, it's too much time to have, an interview with somebody because that's half your day. So I want to do that on a podcast as well. I probably come back with some great, interesting people in air industry. Love it, love it.
Mhm.
I
That
worked
sounds fun.
I worked a lot with annual investment meetings. It's in Abu Dhabi, and they have a lot of press releases and a lot of. It's a very big expo actually, and to be honest, I think they cover the whole world. Really, I find speakers all over the world flying into Abu Dhabi to be there. I see very interesting projects. I feel that this is a very important investment meeting. And of course, we are partners with them. So check out our website next week. We are covering one of their press releases. And yeah, it's very interesting to be part of that. And I'm really proud of that as well.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, it's so that I really like that too. And one of my favorite personal favorite is Shanghai design because, well, first of all, it's in China. I love that. But the other one is, there are the best designers. It's amazing. Their images are so beautiful, and what they show on that trade show. It's all about
I've seen
um,
some of the pictures. It is absolutely
interior.
stunning.
Yeah, it's interior. It's about designers for textile industry, for hotel business. It's lovely. Actually, they invited us to come to Shanghai next year and see if we
Very
can bring
nice.
some designers. So anybody who's listening and is a designer and think, hey, I can use some help to get there, be in touch. Of course, we would love to bring some of the European designers to Shanghai. And also, they promised some nice things. They promised us that they will help them to do some mixed matching with interesting companies to be on the Chinese market. And also, they will have, especially for you, a host who speak Chinese to help you. And they have a presentation or a small conference with from the government to help you about doing business in China. So this is an opportunity, this is a big market. If you are a designer or any furniture or textile or ceramic, anything, and you want to be on the market in China, this is your world. So you have to get in touch. So I'm very happy that we are working with them. They're also lovely, great people. I love to promote them. So this is most of it. One of the new one, I think, it's not even there. You have to check it out next week. But it's coming up, and that's e-franchise days. And I love that because I love franchise. Once I was very into franchise myself. I thought, what a great concept, because if you are into franchise, you get your company just like that, like you have it. You of course you have to do your own investment, but it's a small investment, but you already have a brand or a company with a name, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, definitely. It's expensive for sure. It depends on
Yeah.
the franchise too.
And I always
Uh,
think, but I don't know that, but I think if you are doing this like 2-3 years down the road, then you're driving this whole company yourself, and you make the name and you make the profit, and it's actually your company, but you still have to pay that franchise company. I don't know if you feel sorry that you started it. I don't know if you are like, okay, how can I do it myself without them? I don't know.
yeah,
It's a lot of money you have to give them, probably.
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. What I do know is that I'm very interested. It's great working with them. I asked them if we could have podcasts with people who are having a franchise or giving a franchise. And I also offered them, and that might be interesting for you, I offered them an insert in the magazine in September. So see if we can have some interesting people in the franchise world to be showcased in our magazine in September. I think that's a great industry for us.
For sure.
Yeah. So, kind of interesting things, right?
Lots of interesting things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time. It's I love it. Summer is coming up. There's so much going on, and I
Yeah,
really
I
love it.
know. It's fun. You always
Yeah,
have
it
a full
is.
schedule, which is great. Keeps
Yeah.
you busy. But I think that's
Yeah.
good. It's nice to be busy and
I think so too. And also I think it's good to see that companies and entrepreneurs are still there, are being successful, growing. There's a lot going on in the world, and also economical. It's kind of tricky these days.
mhm.
But I talk to people who are very successful and even starting new businesses and doing all kind of things. And I like that. I like to hear that. It's very motivating. So everybody who thought, my time is over because the world is not that good anymore for me, just do it. Just do it. It's, go for it. There are a lot of examples for successful entrepreneurs. So
Definitely.
But
I remember once my when I was in university, one of my marketing teachers, he told us that it's actually during a recession where there's the most opportunity, something along those lines. Maybe I don't know if I'm taking it out of context a little bit, but he said during a recession, that's when there's the most opportunity because that's typically
I
when
can
people.
imagine that. You know what?
Hmm.
One of my favorite is when people said, actually, I think it was Oprah. I don't know if that's a good sign, but anyway, she says always like, okay, you know what? Sometimes you are just not being taken serious of being ignored as an entrepreneur because you probably doesn't matter, but you have to realize something. There is no better place than being ignored. If you are not important as an entrepreneur, you have a free ticket to the whole world because nobody's watching you. Nobody thinks that,
Oh, that's interesting.
And I thought, yeah. And she said, well, there is a recession. While the
Hmm.
world is not doing so well, you go for it because nobody's watching you and you can go straight to the end, the fastest. And I thought, yeah, that's a good advice, actually. I think so too. There's nothing better than being, not taking serious or being ignored. And you can just go ahead and show the world otherwise. But yeah,
Hmm.
and
I agree, definitely, and especially with like the if in a recession too, because that's typically when people are more conservative in terms of spending and what they're or if they're advertising or if they're being
yeah.
innovative because they think people aren't spending money, and so there maybe it's like a decline in creativity amongst people. So yeah, this is like the perfect opportunity where it's like you can come up with something. So
I think
there's
so
things
too.
about that.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so too. So we have some great ideas. Not ready to discuss it yet on a podcast with the whole world, but we will come back. I have some ideas for myself, and by the time I'm ready, I will definitely share it. It's always fun. It's always nice. But
Mhm.
you know what, Ivana, also, I want to actually do some kind of call to action to our listeners and to you and to everybody because these days I'm being overloaded with all kind of messages and questions about artificial intelligence. Everybody these days have to work with it or asking us, what are you doing with artificial intelligence? I think it's a very hard word for a Dutch person, really. So I'm trying, but it's not easy to say. But so I read an article of Forbes who said that 90% of leading businesses ongoing investing in artificial intelligence. That's a lot. That's like
Mhm.
this is the future. And actually, the
Yes.
title of the whole thing was artificial intelligence will impact your work, your life, if you like it or not.
Mhm.
And that was a strong message, right?
It is a strong message, but I feel like, of course, AI is something. It's unlike anything that we've had before in our history in terms of technology and how quickly it's developed too. And it's kind of scary as well. But at the same time as well, it's like society always adapts. It's like you find new ways to work with it. Um, Things change in the economy, of course. It changes so many factors in how people do business. But I think that there's always that adoption to it
Yeah.
as well.
I think so, but it could be that you could be too late. I tell you why. Because you know what, with these things, no, with these things, it's like
Doom and
dripping.
gloom.
Yeah, no, it with these things, it's normally dripping into your normal life, right? Before
Yeah.
you know it, it's very hard. In the beginning, you just have some robot, some kind of technology with with just banking or something like that. Nowadays, even a flight reservations, it's like getting more difficult altogether. But we are going farther and farther and farther. And a part of the people will just let go and say, this is too complicated for me. I just cannot, keep up. For example, if you go to the banking, I know a lot of people say, as long as I cannot go to a bank, have to do it on the internet. That's just not longer an option for me. I let it go. I have my money in my house waiting for my shopping. That sounds very simple, but
Mhm.
you know it's going more and more into your normal life, and I think that something like AI can do the same thing. To be honest, I can see it in our work. And one of the scariest thing is that I get all kind of offers to make to make courses. Say, okay, you want to be rich, you want to be a passive income, you can make courses with artificial intelligence, 99% made by them and sell them on the internet. That's scary because
Wow.
because yeah, that's
So
something.
like what kind of courses are like, is there any kind of like
You
specific
name
ones?
it, you can say like, okay, a course about marketing. You just have 10 questions, you put them in your screen, and the machine is making all the subtitles, etc., etc. He make the whole course. You can just ask him, make a course about email
Yeah.
marketing, and then you can just 40 pages of
Mhm.
now can you imagine the young people on school doing nothing anymore, just having they why should they do it?
I know, but you know what though? There's still inconsistencies even with like what is it, chat GPT. Like there's still an inconsistency, there's still
Oh yeah,
errors
yeah,
in it as well. Yeah, because I remember there was I mean, this was an advertisement, so I don't know how accurate it was, but they had like, I saw this advertisement where this guy, he took a paper that chat GPT or one of those AI, machine, not machines, but I don't know what they call it, AI made. And then they actually took somebody who wrote, like somebody who's a professional who wrote a paper on the same topic, and they submitted it to a professor to review, and they wanted to see like, you know, which one would he actually pick in terms of like what's the best article. And he still went with the human written one instead of the AI. So I
yeah,
thought that was interesting. But I mean, that could have been just for the advertising.
yeah.
But at the same time, too, I think that's the thing with AI. With AI, it takes out that human element, that personal touch. That's something
I
that,
think so too. No, I think so too. But you all also know that a part of people really don't care. They really don't care. You and I maybe
true.
care, and a lot of people will care, but a lot of them are not. And also, I think it's kind of scary what it can do in that way. Not only for the text, also for video and faking fake
Mhm.
news
Oh
and
yeah.
etc.
Did you hear about the new thing that's happening now? You just reminded me. So if you get a phone call and no one's on the other end, this freaks me out now, because what's happening is that I saw a few cases of this on the news. There was people that were called, like their mom, as an example, received a phone call saying from their daughter, "Mom, like I'm at the hospital, I'm injured, I need money. Can you
Oh
please send me money?"
God.
It
Yeah,
sounded like her, and she's crying like her daughter, exactly like her
yeah,
daughter.
yeah, yeah.
And but the thing is, like, it was just there was something that was unsettling, but to the mom. So I don't know. They didn't talk about like what the end result was, but they were just talking about the situation, and it wasn't her daughter. And that's what AI is doing. It's like mimicking
Yeah, but do
people's
you
voice.
understand what it could mean if they are doing this with people like Putin or Biden or Erdogan,
Yeah.
and they having like a whole show around it, and I don't want to see a nasty word, but quicking up the world, everybody's going crazy, and you don't know anymore if it's real or not real. It's not
Yeah.
helping. But anyway, one of the things for our listeners, I mean, this is far away, but one of the things that struck my eye, and I thought that was very good to know, is that for all the job seekers out there, for everybody who wants to go to have other jobs, they said that AI is now the most demanding area of expertise for job seekers. And that's for me was like mind blowing. I was like, wow, that's fast. I mean, that means that if you're looking for a job right now already, you have to be like having that kind of expertise. That's something. I think that's very hard for a lot of people, and maybe you don't even want to do it. I mean, I'm not 18 anymore. If I would have to find another job tomorrow and they say, oh yeah, you have to be an expertise in IE, I would like, you can just skip my this round for me. No way. That's too
Are you
much,
are you saying though, is the article saying that you have to be like, people are looking for individuals that are experts in AI, or are you saying that that is one of the trending kind of maybe like new job markets in terms of like AI
I think
roles.
so.
Is that what you
Well,
mean?
if when I for a lot of years I was an HRM manager, and there was always trends, like sometimes you needed entrepreneurial skills, you wanted to have them very independent working and going for it, et cetera. And then you have years and years where you need, especially, for example, more social kind of skills, or you needed 4 languages, or it's like a trend kind of thing. I think this is the
Mhm.
same thing. Now suddenly everybody have to work with artificial intelligence, and they have to
Yeah,
show it. Well, the
definitely.
good thing is,
Well, what's interesting is that, so we were talking about, how like with artificial intelligence, one of the jobs that are like threatened by this is marketing or media.
I think
And
so, yeah.
yeah, but then when I did the search with ChatGPT and I said, artificial intelligence has the potential to impact many jobs, which industries does it have the most impact on? And it said customer service representatives, which I understand. I'm not surprised by that,
Yeah.
because of chatbots and all that kind of stuff, and data entry analysis, uh, drivers, which shocked me. I wasn't expecting that. that could be.
No.
I know that Teslas can drive themselves, but I wasn't expecting that that's like a big threat. Manufacturing workers, which I totally understand just because of like the robotics that's used to
Yeah.
maybe like
Yeah.
package count and all that kind of stuff. There's too much human error. They're like, well, just get some robots
Yeah. Right.
and
Right.
program them. And financial analysts. I was surprised that I didn't see marketing or media on there.
I'm surprised too,
So,
because you know what? You know that we sometimes outsource kind of projects, small projects, and then we hire like freelance people on platforms like Fiverr, or there was another
mhm,
one, it's kind of Job NL or something, and they do jobs for you. But now I suddenly have like a lot of people saying, "Oh, we make your articles, we can do this, and we can do that," and I think, yeah, but how do I know you're just not working with AI? Because I can do that myself, first of all, and second, the quality will not be that good. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's the same with lead generation. I don't know. I think that you can have a list and you can pay for it, and they just probably put it in the machine and here we go. But how do you know about the quality? How do you know if that's even relevant
Mhm,
lead? So I think
yeah.
the tricky thing is that you can market new markets from people who say what they can do,
Mhm,
and you have to ask yourself what they're doing is they are outsourcing it to some kind of robot without
mhm.
checking out quality, and you pay for it. So yeah, that's my fear, that I
Yeah,
just want to have outsource it to quality people, and when they come back with their work, I know they did a good job. I don't have to check it. I know they did a good job. But
yeah,
now that's
definitely.
gone. I have to check it, everything, just maybe because of me. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't trust them to be honest. But anyway, I was starting this with a call to action, and actually, my call to action is anybody who's out there and say, "Hey, you know what? We do work with artificial intelligence in my company, and the work or my life changed because of it, or it has such a huge impact. Now suddenly, you know, my future looks different, or our revenue, was rocket sky high now." All these situations that suddenly something changed for you because of artificial intelligence, we like to know. Now, so what I want to do is challenge you all that if you have anything, a story in that area, and we really like to know it. And if you are sending that to us on the email, podcast@europeanlife.media, no, podcast@europeanlifemedia.com, then we will definitely invite you on the podcast. And if this is a great story, who knows, maybe we will invite you to be in the magazine in September 2023 and share your story with all our readers. So again, this is a call to action. If there's anything changing for you in work or life in general, because of AU, because of artificial intelligence, please let us know. Tell us what you do. Tell us how we can learn from you. What did you do to get there? Is there something we should do? Do you have advice for the readers? Come to a podcast, tell us about it, and let's share and see how we can help each other. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
I think so too. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for having me here today, Bernadette.
I loved having you again, and I'm looking forward to making new podcasts and invite a lot of interesting people to be on the podcast and tell their story and give us their tips and ideas. So, if you are one of these people, please give us an email, podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com. Well, for now, it's weekend and good time of the day. So anybody, have a great weekend. Thank you, Ivana. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Do you have a question or a story to share? Please find us at podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com.